Rest in peace, WRCO. Picture something bigger than life. I wear my grandson title with the biggest of pride. I rode my grandmother to her grave with tears in my eyes, and I'm proud of her, she put up a fight. I'm talking months in the hospital, 2 weeks of house care, 1 week of hospice. She passed at 83 years. No end to the escort line, to the funeral. People came to honor her life from every corner of the globe. She touched so many hearts that everywhere she has a home. Although our hearts were heavy, we stayed patient like a toll. It was the coldest day I've known, but her spirit kept us warm. The energy around was pure gold. I watched the cries around her grave turn to smiles, laughing wild, then right back into cries again. It's still hard to this day, but Oma, your fight still in us. You're gone, but still inspire us. You're greater than any planes. So Oma, I'm not scared anymore. I'll conquer the world with kindness. A light so bright until it's blinding. In the face of hardship, I'll smile through it and keep my soul pure through life. So put your faith in me once more. I'm aiming for much more. I'll keep telling your story till the world till my lungs scorch. I promise that your soul will live longer than Chiron. I pray you use your grandson as your vessel to live on, inshallah. Grief, one of life's greatest teachers, takes you to your lowest, but for some it's what they needed. You could go one of two ways, could get left crumbled for days and make you lose your way or find the meaning. Good grief, the grief that exceeds, the grief that can teach, not the grief that defeats, the grief that dissolves, not the grief that repeats, the grief that heals your heart, not the grief that you treat. Good grief, the grief that reminds you what you live for. Good grief, the grief that makes you check up on your kinfolk. Good grief, the grief that makes you want to come correct in front of God and the mirror and the people you respect. I'm talking good grief, good grief, good grief. We all know the 5 stages. At the end you find peace if you accept it. I know it hurts, but if you can, find the lesson. Yeah.